Good morning, everyone. Before we get into this morning's update, I want to go over a quick synopsis of what's transpiring because it's more than just what's going on the charts. There's a lot for XRP that's going on behind the scenes. As we can see with Bitcoin, we're down 3.81%, down 2,652 points to 66,887. Yesterday, we had two options. First one was that we would get up to 70,200, we'd back test and then go up to 71,000 area. Second option was we'd get rejected at 71,000, lose this bull flag, bear flag setup, and then just break down. And the breakdown target, if we end up coming universally down, I mean, we're down to the first area. You have an area down here at 66,654. So this was the first drop point if it came down. The second drop point, if it breaks through this area of support, you could come all the way down to 62,443. And I only say that because this would be a retest. And it's not a retest of the breakout of the pennant flag. It's a breakout of that pivot point at 66,656, which when we've held, we've been able to break back up. But now we need to be worried about if this double tops or if this inverse right shoulder ends up pulling farther down. Because if it does, we'll end up around the 62,600 mark. But with Bitcoin, we're oversold in all these smaller time frames, like massively getting oversold. 3 hourly way oversold, 4 hourly way oversold. Daily is starting to pull back up, but it's still got a long ways to go if you look at it based on the daily. But the smaller time frames are hinting that we have to have some kind of short-term reversal here, and it looks like it's setting up for the support structure being right about, what's this low support? It's I want to put it at 66,600 and some change, because that's where prior in the pattern we were able to hold at 66,336. We were able to hold here at 66,633 a couple of times. So that's where we had the pivot point before. So we'll see, but we are massively oversold here all the way into the 4 hourly. If you look at XRP, we're down 2.9%. We'll have to get into this deeper, but we are massively oversold here when it comes into certain time frames as well. We've come down to that 4783 support level that we had to come down to if we weren't breaking bullish off that pattern formation. It's something that we marked right when we started pulling back up. This is the back test of the bull flag. So if it holds this, the bull flag would still play out. Well, I mean, it would still play out in this in this same kind of setup. It just had to come down to retest. But now it changes the perspective here as well. Now we can look at the advanced data in front of us, and it almost looks like H-bar now from the other day, how it showed like this expandable wedge, which is exactly what XRP is showing after that drop. So, I mean, we can keep getting the new evidence here. I'm going to start to move some of this, though. Like, get that out of the way, get this out of the way, because it already came down here. That's what it's set up in, and that is still a bull flag style setup. It's still, until this breaks down, which it came down to double bottom now if it does. If it breaks down from here, our next support, it's very easy, is at 45.43. But I'm starting to look at these time frames now. 2 hourly is pushed into the oversold with the recent comeback here. Let me go into the other XRP chart. It's easier to see. 3 hourly oversold. 4 hourly. We did have a pullback up the last couple hours, though. It looked a little different about 6 hours ago. But we're still oversold here in the smaller time frames. And it's going to lead to some kind of reversal at some point. It's just a matter of where it comes from. So we're very volatile today. I'd say the price action is putting a damper on a lot of people's perspective. But this is an area that we had at 47.8 cents. And that we determined in a 30-minute time frame that that's where we had that additional pullback. And if we were going to come back down and prove that this is more of a bull flag instead of a bear flag, that if we came down, we'd have to hold this area. So now it becomes very urgent. If we don't hold this area, then we're going to come down to that 45.45 cent mark. And yesterday, we had a nice trade set up for Bitcoin. We nailed it to the wall at 69,400 during the update yesterday morning. I said a 10x $1,000 trade I was going to take. It was set up, and I was going to ride it to 70,200. That's exactly what I did. Well, 70,198. I sold it at like 70,193. It was a $127 trade. And the reason why, there was no reason for continuation. I wasn't waiting for the back test, because if it back tested, I could have just bought it back at 69,700. Well, it failed the back test. failed the mid-tier support, and right off of that mid-tier fail, which we talked about how important it was yesterday during the live at 69,500, once it failed that, we literally poured out. And not all 1.38 billion was liquidated yesterday, but we had over 550 million got liquidated, or 600 million out of that 1.38 billion on that push up to 70,200. Now they still left about almost $800 million on the table. And if you look at Bitcoin, it's massively oversold here. So a lot of people are looking the other way, but right now Bitcoin's oversold. Put a reversal candle in the 30-minute, and it's almost as if we didn't get hammered yesterday. Another opportunity is setting up. Now, I will preface this very clearly. If you take a trade here with Bitcoin, there is no reason to let it ride for much longer than even like yesterday. From 69,000 or 66,000, let's see where we're exactly at, because this makes a difference. So from 67,000 right now, because Bitcoin is trying to pull up here a little bit, but from 67,000 to that low support, it is not much. So let's and it's always nice. And then we'll go through the intro. I'll show you the talking points we have to get to, but it's very exciting when you get on. And I should have already done the intro, I acknowledge that. But this is about a 1 point, no, that's not where you'd be looking to right here. That's 1.05%. So I mean, at all costs, if it came below 66,300, there's no reason you should have a position open. Hell, you could even say if it comes below 66,638, it could be an issue. It could be an issue. And like, I am getting rid of all of these short-term ones because I think it's confusing now. We hit that short-term move yesterday, and it was based just on the short-term technicals. Now, we do have to be very cautious here. We really have had 3 hits here at 66,633, but still, if you're going to talk about the support in the area, there's one at 66,332 that we have to consider. So, and that's the 30-minute. Bitcoin is starting to get massively into that oversold area, like oversold, to where even if it's bearish, we're going to have some kind of retest here soon. So we'll get into all of this. Bitcoin, it's obviously a major area of interest. A lot of crypto is a very area of interest. While we're going through this live as well, we're going to have to read into what Ripple did. Ripple dedicates major portion of 1 billion XRP pledge to new fund for Japan and South Korea. So it appears that there's a new partnership that has been building through the XRP ledger here that hasn't got a lot of talking points. So we'll talk about this. And then the only other thing we'll talk about in the reading is XRP whales buy the dip while Ripple on-chain activity fades. So the Ripple whales holding 100 million and higher of XRP tokens are buying the dip in June. So they're buying for a reason, folks. They are buying for a reason. So please make sure to hit that like button so YouTube recommends this update. It'll allow more people to find their way to my community through the YouTube recommendation. So by hitting that like button, I pop up on the news feed, and more people can find their way to the community, whether new or older viewers. So please make sure to hit that like button. I'll catch you on the other side of the intro. Good morning, 8:47 a.m. Eastern Standard Time on this Tuesday, June 11th, 2024. I'm XRP Future Millionaire, and I reside in the great state of Michigan. And as we can see, Bitcoin's up to 67,080. I probably should have brought my phone to take out a trade because we can see this reversal candle. But I want to see if it does reverse up on this candle, which it looks like it's trying to right now. We've got 12 minutes left in this candle. And this looks like it could be an engulfing candle. We'll figure this out by the end of this candle because we'll still be on. We'll see where we're at by the end of this update in the next 10 minutes. For XRP, we've gone through a good analysis already. It's trying to find a support structure. And right now, for XRP. We know there's one at 47.83 cents on the 30-minute. That's where it had come on that second wick after the pullback, and it ended up holding that area. So if you're looking at this from a bull flag setup, you need to hold this area. And we've already determined, if we look at the other chart, and the reason why is we come back and back test that 51.8 cents if we came up in that area. But right now, this is the consolidation we've had. Even with the newest data point, we had 2 hits of support, 2 hits of resistance, and it's still set up in a bull flag, bear flag setup with more possibility in that bull flag setup. But it would have to break up. On a breakdown here, we know the exact target now. There's no other way to look at this. If it were to break down from here, XRP would be coming down to this 44.7 cent area. And if it were to break up, it would put you back around that 53.7 cents. It's just, we would have to break bullish out of here. We're not as oversold as Bitcoin. Bitcoin's massively oversold in comparison to XRP. XRP small bull flag put in even on this drop. So we'll see if it holds the support structure and then starts pushing back up to the resistance point. If you buy support, sell resistance, the next sale would be 507 if it gets rejected. For Bitcoin, under that same logic, if it holds support, it could come all the way down to the 66. I would be more comfortable at 66,300. See, it have one more pull down here, but it looks like it's starting to reverse here on that 30-minute time frame that we were showing, that reversal candle, and the fact that we're so oversold. But it would be nice if it would come down like 800 points and piss everybody off this morning. The most opportune moment would be if it gets down to 66,300 with no significant retest to the top side. That would put us in such a massive oversold, even worse than we are now, that it would have no choice but to have some kind of volatile uptick. It still looks like it's going to today after 3.5% drop, but it remains to be seen. I don't know why the XRP Bitcoin pairing keeps deleting, but it does. So I'll just re-add it, but it gets quite annoying that it wants to delete every single day. I actually had to just put it on before I started the live, and then it was gone again. Or the update. XRP Bitcoin pairing. That is up about 0.84% on the day to 721 sat level. So it's had a little bit of appreciation, but nothing major. It's trying to work on a breakout here. As yet, on about a day ago, it came down to 699 again, but now it's trying to push past this attempted breakout here. But we would have to get on top of 724 to push that 740. Right now, we're close. We're at the 722, so we're still set up in a short-term consolidation. It's up 0.98%, nothing major. But yeah, that's just something to watch right now. So we'll come back and circle around right at the very end to see where Bitcoin and XRP's at, and then just continue to pay attention to the XRP Bitcoin pairing. XRP Healthcare is still consolidating. We'll talk about that more in the live today, tonight. So, but let's get into this reading because I think this is very important. We'll get into the whales activity second. No, we'll get into the whale activity first to go against the charts, and then we'll talk about what Ripple's doing in here in Japan and South Korea. So if you're looking to trade XRP in the USA or around the world, video description below and our pinned comments, there's BITUNIX, lowest spot and leverage trading fees in the USA. You can trade worldwide. You don't need to use a VPN no matter where you're at, and KYC only if you send or receive from a bank account. And the XRP Bitcoin pairing and XRP Healthcare are on MEXC. And that's in the video description below and our pinned comments. And then if you want to send me a YouTube super chat or join Tom's Army, send one dedicated YouTube super chat or join Tom's Army. I ask for one time per month if you appreciate my work and want to pay it forward. That's in the video description below as well. If you want to join Tom's Army, get that emoji badge of me being abducted by aliens in month 1. So XRP whales buy the dip while Ripple on-chain activity fades. So Ripple whales holding 100 million and higher volume of XRP tokens are buying the dip in June. Activity addresses declined by nearly 40% in June, down to 19,500 on June 11th. XRP wipes out nearly 2% of value on Tuesday, down to 48.8 cents. So XRP whales in different segments holding 100 million and higher tokens have added to their holdings during the recent dip. XRP price has been down nearly 6% since June 1st. And large wallet investors are buying the dip. Ripple has noted a decline in its on-chain activity amidst the price correction. The active addresses metric is considered an indicator of a blockchain network's usage. The metric could see a correlation with price as higher active addresses typically mark periods of increased demand. Ripple's active addresses dropped nearly 40% in June, down to 19,500 level on June 11th. As noted by Sentiment On-Chain Intelligence Tracker, the decline fuels a bearish narrative for XRP. Ripple's supply distribution metric shows that large wallet investors in three segments holding between 1 million to 10 million to 100 million to 1 billion and higher of volume, and higher volume of XRP tokens have added to their wallets in June. The XRP volume held by the three segments of whale wallets increased by 2%. So basically, retail is unloading at historic levels, while the whales between 1 million and 1 billion tokens have increased their holdings by nearly 2%. June 1st and 10th, as seen in this chart below. So retail is selling, and the whales are buying. So just consider that when you're making a decision. On-chain metrics paint a bearish picture for XRP, fueling a narrative of correction in the altcoin. Technical analysis, XRP poised for nearly 7% correction. Ripple is likely to correct another 7% in its decline, as seen in the XRP USDT chart. On the one-day chart, the altcoin wiped out nearly 2% of its value on Tuesday. At the time of writing, XRP was at 48.76 cents. And now, as we know, it went down. Well, right now it's right around the same exact level. So 48.4 cent area it's been sitting around. Ripple could find support at the June 7th low of 45.08 cents, down nearly 7% from the current price level. 46.65 cents, the April 19th low of XRP, could act as another support in Ripple's decline. The relative strength index, RSI, is down to 35.03, dropping towards oversold level at 30. The signal line crossed above the moving average convergence divergence MACD on Thursday, June 6th, in a bearish move. Red histogram bars below the neutral line in MACD support a bearish thesis for Ripple. So that's one thing I wanted to read, and then I wanted to go over this as well, and then I'm going to release this update. Ripple dedicates major portion of 1 billion XRP pledge to new fund for Japan and South Korea. The Japan and South Korea fund is part of the 1 billion XRP pledge from Ripple, which focuses on providing financial, technical, and business support to projects building on XRP Ledger. According to a press release today, Ripple has launched a new fund focused on bolstering innovation on the XRP Ledger in the Japan and South Korean markets. Dubbed the XRP Ledger Japan and Korea Fund, the new commitment will support multiple initiatives fostering innovation on XRPL in both countries. The new fund will focus on four distinct areas. First, it will enhance partnerships with top Japan and Korea-based companies, leading to the integration of XRP Ledger into their operations while expanding enterprise use cases across various sectors. Through the XRPL Japan and Korea Fund, Ripple will also provide support to promising projects built on the XRP Ledger in areas of business, finance, and technical developments. Additionally, Ripple will actively identify and invest in early-stage companies that harness the XRPL to build novel applications in Japan and Korea. Lastly, the fund will also help Ripple support local events in the countries, including education programs and hackathons. Ripple to commit huge portion of 1 billion XRP pledge to the new fund. Per the announcement, the fund is part of Ripple's 1 billion XRP pledge aimed at offering technical, financial, and business support to developers building on the XRP Ledger via the XRPL grants and XRPL accelerator programs. Ripple noted that it would commit a considerable portion of the 1 billion XRP toward fostering opportunities, especially in Korea and Japan, adding that the commitment could run into tens of millions of dollars every time. Commenting on the development, Ripple VP of Strategic Operations, Emi Yoshikawa, said the new fund demonstrates the company's confidence in the prospects of Japan and Korea as essential regional centers for blockchain innovation. According to Ripple, Japan and Korea are home to some dynamic XRP Ledger communities worldwide, supported by efficient institutional collaborations, favorable regulations, and growing startups with their respective blockchain sectors. Ripple mentioned that Japan and Korea-based projects were selected among the XRPL Grants Wave 7 awardees, in particular VWBL Japan and Moi Finance Korea were among the firms that received funding to continue building on the XRP Ledger. The company also noted that it has partnered with top Korea and Japan-based companies, including SBI Holdings and Hashkey DX over the years. Furthermore, Ripple stated that some of its executives will participate as speakers at events scheduled in these regions later this year, such as the Korea Blockchain Week and WebEx Asia and Japan. So that's just some things that are happening around the news part of Ripple, the expansion. So pay attention to that just as much as you'll pay attention to the charting. As we've talked about with Bitcoin, there could be a possible reversal starting here, but I'm looking for possibly 66,338 area. If it comes down here and it decides to hold that support structure, that's where I'd be looking. Obviously, you could split hairs here and say it's got to come down even farther, but where it's at in this oversold area, we got two sectors. The first one could be right where it's at 66,686 or 66,332, but we are getting into that massively oversold to where at some point we're going to have some kind of reversal. So just pay attention. This still looks slightly bearish with the way it pulled up, possibly. And as it's coming back down towards the end of this 30-minute candle, I would just be looking for that 66,300 area or 66,600. If it bounces there, it's an opportunity. We'll continue talking about this later, but I got to release this update as I got to go feed my son.